Joel, she in a private speech, she said Keystone XL protesters were radical environmentalists. She also said that they should get a life. Why should people think that she's actually the right person for the climate change fear?
Because she's the person who went around the world and helped get 195 countries to the table to sign the Paris Peace Accords, including, if you go back to Copenhagen, China. She and President Obama, she was the one who found out China was having a secret meeting behind closed doors, and she and President Obama went and got into that meeting. They almost barged in. They didn't break down the door, but there were security people trying to stop them. They got into that meeting, got China to the table, which is the most important thing you have to do to deal with the climate change.
Why didn't she? But she also pushed She pushed fracking around the world. She pushed fracking around the world too.
Are you going to let me finish? Yeah. She also is the only candidate on that stage who believes in climate change. So you have two people running for president. One who says it's not real and is a hoax created by China, and one who has said, I will uphold this treaty. He wants to tear it up.
Does fracking not make climate change worse?
Look, any fossil fuel contributes to climate change. That's why we got China to the table. That's why all 195 countries have agreed to set limits that reduce the amount of pollution from carbon pollution. So that's the reality of what we have to do. We don't have enough clean energy today. She's the only one with a plan to make it central to her, not just her jobs program, but to her energy program, to make the investments in solar and wind so that as we transition out of fossil fuels, we've got oil at a record low price now, well, not record low, but for many decades the lowest it's been. You have to make the investments, build it up. They're doing it in Nevada, they're doing it in Iowa, and that's what she's going to do.
Where does she stand? Where does she stand on Dakota Access Pipeline? Where does she stand on Dakota Access Pipeline?
You know what? I'm not as versed in that issue right now.
So you don't know if she's for or against the pipeline?
What she's for is making investments in clean energy. I've answered your question now 3 times. I'm going to say it again.
You don't know about Dakota.
I'm saying she's the only candidate in this race who believes that we have to make massive investments in solar and wind to get to be a clean energy economy.
So, so that's Joel Benenson. I think he's the senior strategist. Got a little angry with me, I would say, at the end on Hillary Clinton. He said that Donald Trump doesn't believe in climate change, which is true. Also said that her pushing fracking around the world, he kind of dodged on that, went into his talking points about natural gas, natural energy, and then when I asked him very clearly, is she for or against the Dakota Access Pipeline, which we've been covering in North Dakota, he said, I'm not familiar with that position, and went back to his talking point.